Freemasons and Freemasonry. Do you know who the Freemasons are? Find out all there is to know about the greatest fraternity known to humanity, things not many people know about the secret Society of Freemasons. What do Freemasons believe in? And what are the core tenets of the organization? Welcome to Masonic AudioBook Library, the place where future Freemasons come to get inspired. If you're not subscribed yet, you're missing out. Subscribe and share to all Masons. Historically, Freemasons are builders. True Freemasons are respectful and tolerant of the opinions and religions of others. They are taught to practice charity toward those who are less fortunate, not only by monetary gifts, but by their personal and united voluntary efforts. They strive for truth. Freemasonry's logo, the square and compasses, is a visual reminder of the brotherhood of man, the square which points downward toward mankind, under the fatherhood of deity, the compasses which point upward toward the heavens. As such, moral rectitude, spiritual values, and the necessity of living a life that is pleasing to the grand architect of the universe makes good men better. What is the organizational structure of Freemasonry? Freemasonry is a global fraternity of men who believe in the brotherhood of man under the fatherhood of deity. As such, Freemasons strive to uphold moral character and spiritual values in their interactions with other Freemasons, as well as with non-Freemasons. How many men are members of the fraternity? Over 6 million worldwide. How old is Freemasonry? Written documentation shows that Freemasonry is the oldest and largest existing fraternal organization in the world. Does Freemasonry have an international headquarters? No. No one person can speak for Freemasonry as a whole. What is a Freemason Grand Lodge? A Grand Lodge, or Grand Orient, is the governing body of Freemason subordinate lodges in a specific geographical area, which is called a jurisdiction. Are the locations of Grand Lodges around the world a secret? No, their contact information, as well as a list of subordinate lodges, may be found on their individual websites. Leave a comment on a lodge and we shall get back with info. What is a Masonic Lodge? Even though people refer to a lodge as a place where lodge meetings are held and degrees are conferred, a lodge is wholly made up of its members. The members, themselves, constitute the lodge because, without members, the lodge is simply a building or place where a lodge of Freemasons meets. How often do Masonic lodges hold meetings? Most lodges in the United States meet twice per month. Meetings are typically held in the evening after members leave their daytime employment for the day. However, there are a few lodges that meet during the daytime to accommodate those members whose employment requires them to work the third or nighttime shift. These are called daylight lodges. How many degrees are conferred in a Masonic lodge? 3. 1. Entered apprentice degree, 2. Fellowcraft degree and Master Mason degree. There are corresponding Masonic degree verses for each of the 3 degrees. Lodge officers. Each lodge around the world has lodge officers. There are slight differences in lodge officer titles and job descriptions around the world. History of the Freemasons. In the year 1717, the first Grand Lodge of England was formed when 4 existing Masonic lodges merged together. Soon, a regulatory body was formed, which most of the Masonic lodges in England joined. During the same time, a few lodges chose to start their own Grand Lodge, which was named the Anti-Ant Grand Lodge of England. The 2 Grand Lodges competed to become the Supreme Grand Lodge until in 1813, they agreed to unite to become the United Grand Lodge of England, or UGLE. Afterward, Freemasonry spread across the globe, and within a few years, Grand Lodges were also formed in other countries. Grand Lodge inception dates of the formation of the first Grand Lodges. Grand Lodge of England, formed in 1717. Grand Lodge of Ireland, formed in 1725. Grand Orient de France, formed in 1728. Grand Lodge of Massachusetts in the United States, formed in 1733. Via a Grand Lodge warrant, Henry Price was made the Provincial Grand Master of New England. Grand Lodge of Scotland, formed in 1736. First Grand Lodge formed in 1717, the actual origin of Freemasonry is unknown. Because previous to 1717, when the four lodges in London merged together to form the First Grand Lodge of England, recorded documents are scarce. Therefore, after 1717, recorded Masonic documents are more complete. Many Masonic scholars theorize that the fraternity began with the stonemasons' guilds during the Middle Ages. These guilds were similar to trade unions. Oldest Masonic document from 1390, the oldest known document which refers to stone masons is the Regius Poem of 1390 AD. However, within the Regius Poem, reference is made to an earlier work that has never been found. Old Charges? Referred to as the Old Charges, these old manuscripts, which are written in Old English, form the foundation of subsequent Masonic charters. They are also known as the Old Masonic Constitutions and are the basis for Masonic jurisprudence, yet today. Masonic Rituals. Much of the archaic Old language within the rituals is not commonly used in the English language today. Many of Freemasonry's symbols, too, which are used within the rituals, are more than 200 years old. With a better understanding of Masonic words, the meanings of the rituals become easier to understand. Freemasonry soon spread throughout Europe and was brought to the American colonies. Famous colonial Freemasons. Many of the now famous names in colonial America, such as George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Paul Revere, John Hancock, Lafayette, John Paul Jones, and many others were Freemasons who were instrumental in the founding and building of America. What principles were important to Freemasons then and now? Self-improvement through study, social equality, individual liberty, religious freedom, democratic government, public schooling for all, philanthropy and volunteerism. Masonic charities. Previous to the inception of Social Security in the United States, the U.S. government did not offer any form of social security to people who were in need. From the early 1800s, the Masonic fraternity provided Masonic relief in the form of orphanages for homeless children, homes for widows and the elderly, as well as many other relief-based programs to ensure the people's welfare. Today, in North America, this tradition continues. Through their voluntary efforts, collectively the Freemason fraternity and its appendant bodies give approximately $1.5 million each day, over $500 million a year, to charitable causes such as the operation of children's hospitals, childhood language disorder treatment, eye disease treatment, the funding of medical research, local community service. The fraternity also supports Masons and their families who are no longer able to support themselves through a support network of Masonic homes in several U.S. states for Masons and their families who are no longer able to support themselves. Worldwide, Freemasons are believers in high ideals and brotherhood between all men, and are builders of a better future for all mankind. Speculative versus operative Freemasonry. Why are they called Freemasons? Much of the large Gothic stone architecture found all over Europe was built between the years 960 AD through 1700 AD. Common stone masons. Common masons, at the time, were typically indentured to patrons such as the king, a bishop, or a pope. Thus, they were not free to travel to other cities, at will, to apply their trade. Common masons built simple to create buildings and did a lot of flat work using trowels and mortar, such as brick walls, where knowledge of the sciences of mathematics, geometry, and higher learning was not as intrinsically necessary to the application of their craft. Free stone masons. Historically, Freemasons were highly skilled and highly specialized stonemason craftsmen and artisans who used their working tools to craft the artistically detailed and ornate Gothic architecture and carvings found in many of the cathedrals and other large edifices, buildings, in Europe during the Middle Ages in the 1400s and 1500s, as well as before and after that time. Due to the knowledge and skill of these master mason architects who were called Freemasons, many of these buildings have not only survived for several hundreds of years, but many are still in use today. Due to the scarcity in the numbers of these highly trained free master masons, they were not indentured to any one specific patron. They were free to travel to different cities, at will, to apply their trade. Masonic symbols. Why does Freemasonry have Freemason symbols? The job description for operative free master mason artisans did not end with learning how to craft stone. By necessity, it also required them to master the liberal arts and sciences, which are grammar, rhetoric, logic, arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy. These master craftsmen carved complicated and highly detailed stone artwork, frescoes, and lettering. Their knowledge of the blend between stone architecture and art can be seen and felt, even today as we view these massive churches with their soaring cathedral ceilings. The ability to understand the meaning of and be able to carve symbols into stone was intrinsic to their craft. What is a Freemason emblem? Freemasonry's emblem, or logo, is the square and compasses. The square and compasses are the symbolic tools of a speculative master mason. Within Freemasonry's many appendant bodies, there are numerous Masonic emblems and Masonic symbols. Operative Freemasons architecture. Breathtakingly magnificent Freemason architecture. Westminster Abbey. One such cathedral is the famed Westminster Abbey, in Westminster, London, which was founded in the year 960 AD, a breathtakingly magnificent example of Freemason artisan and craftsmanship. For over 1,000 years, it has been the location of ceremonial coronations, weddings, and burials of English kings and queens, as well as the resting place of famous poets and statesmen. Since 1919, it has hosted 16 royal weddings. Westminster Abbey is a part of the Church of England and possibly the most famous Christian church in existence. It has been the chosen church for royal coronations in England since 1066. Rosslyn Chapel. Another architectural work of art built by Freemasons is Rosslyn Chapel in Rosslyn, Midlothian, Scotland. Originally built by William St. Clair, 3rd Prince of Orkney in 1446, and made world famous with the publishing of Dan Brown's book, The Da Vinci Code, in 2004 and the film version, in 2006, Rosslyn Chapel, today is open to the public. It was originally built as St. Clair's personal chapel. Today, you may view photos of Rosslyn Chapel's beauty, its artistry and its many ancient and intricate stone carvings, online, on the Rosslyn Chapel website. Why are Freemasons called Master Masons? Each operative stone mason aspired to the title of being called a Master Mason because the skills of these specially trained, professional builders were much sought after. Each aspiring mason underwent rigorous training which lasted for many years. When the master architect felt these mason skills were highly honed, he requested that they create their master's piece. If the master's piece met with the master architect's satisfaction, the title of Master Mason was bestowed upon them. These men created artistic works of art such as hand-carved arches of stone, precision hand-cut keystones at the top of each arch, and inlaid stone floors, wherein each stone was cut, sized and fitted with such geometrical precision that no mortar was needed. Today, hundreds of years later, these floors are still in use. Craft, allegory, and ritual. Why does the fraternity call itself the craft? To craft something is to build it. Freemasonry helps good men become better men through personal growth. The craft of Freemasonry is a system of morality, constructed by the use of Freemason symbols, which are taught through the use of allegory and ritual. What is allegory? Allegory is a means of representation that conveys a message by the use of symbolic figures or actions. Rituals are in the form of a play, with cast members. This helps members of the fraternity to understand the message, both verbally and visually. What is a Freemason ritual? A ritual is a ceremony that is repeatedly performed in the same manner each time. Operative versus speculative Freemasons. What is the difference between operative and speculative Freemasons? Freemasons, today, are called speculative Masons because most of them do not operatively work in the craft of building large stone buildings. Physical trestle board. Operative Freemasons used an architectural plan called a trestle board, which is somewhat akin to what we might call an architectural blueprint today. It was created by their supervisor, the master architect, to guide them in laying the foundation and structure of the Gothic cathedrals and abbeys, churches, in Europe. Symbolic trestle board. Speculative Freemasons use the volume of sacred law as their symbolic, foundational blueprint to build a moral and spiritual life that is pleasing to the supreme architect of the universe, deity. Why do Freemasons use the terms supreme being, architect of the universe, grand architect of the universe, etc., instead of using the word God? There is only one supreme being. Around the world, there are many names for the creator of the universe. Freemasonry attempts to bring men together in brotherhood with one another, rather than exclude a man solely based upon the name he uses to denote deity. Religion. Is Freemasonry a religion? No. Freemasonry universally embraces men from all religions. Freemasonry has no specific religious dogmas, established beliefs or doctrines which are denomination-specific within different religions, does not teach theology, does not offer sacraments, and does not offer the promise of salvation. The fraternity encourages and brings men together in brotherhood, to simply focus upon the Supreme Being, the Creator of mankind, deity. Does Freemasonry attempt to change a man's personal religion? No. Freemasonry believes in and universally upholds religious freedom for all men. It believes that a man's relationship with a deity is undisputed, a private and very individual relationship that is sacred in nature. In order to maintain a spirit of universal brotherhood and provide harmony within the lodge, both politics and individual religions are discouraged from being discussed. Why is there a Masonic altar in each lodge room? One of the requirements to become a Freemason is that each man must have a belief in a supreme being, with the exception of the Grand Orient de France. Which volumes of the sacred law resides on the altar? Typically, for Protestant, Christian members in English-speaking countries, the King James Version of the Christian Bible or another standardized translation resides upon the altar. However, depending upon the personal religious beliefs of the lodge members, holy books of other major religions may also be placed upon the altar when the obligation is conferred upon the candidate, such as the Torah, also known as the Hebrew Bible, for Jewish members. The Torah contains the first 5 books of Moses: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Volumes of the sacred law from other major religions for those members who are of other faiths, such as Islam, Sikhism, and Hinduism, may also be found upon the lodge altars around the world at the time the candidate takes his obligation. Are prayers performed in the lodge rooms? Yes. Non-denominational prayers are performed before and after the lodge meets and before refreshments are offered. This means that prayers are offered to the grand architect of the universe, rather than to specific religious figures such as Jesus Christ, Muhammad, Buddha, or others. Non-denominational prayers are not meant to exclude these specific religious figures from a man's personal beliefs, but are, instead, directed to deity, to provide members from all religious faiths a common ground upon which to find brotherhood. Secrets. Does Freemasonry have secrets? Yes. What are the Freemason secrets? The passwords, grips, steps, penal signs, and the wording of the rituals. What are passwords? A form of recognition between members. What are grips? A second form of recognition between members. What are penal signs? A third form of recognition between members. Is Freemasonry a secret society? No. Worldwide, Freemasonry has varying degrees of secrecy. In English-speaking countries, affiliation with the fraternity is public. Masonic buildings are usually clearly marked, many lodges are listed in the telephone books or can be found online, and meeting times are generally a matter of public record or may be found on lodge websites. In other countries, where Freemasonry is suppressed by governments, higher degrees of secrecy may be practiced. What do Freemasons do? Freemasons promote voluntary and charitable efforts. Charity. Collectively, Freemasons fund Masonic homes for the elderly and fund programs that assist in child welfare. Locally, lodges hold charity events that provide scholarship funds for youth as well as funding for other worthy local charitable causes. Education. Freemasons provide college scholarships to worthy young men and women, for both members of the fraternity and non-members. To find more information about Masonic scholarships, go to the World Grand Lodges page, click on your state or country and, once on the Grand Lodge website for your jurisdiction, search for the details about the Masonic scholarships which are available. Volunteer support. Freemasons contribute to blood banks, the funding of medical research, and support and maintenance of hospitals for crippled and burned children in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Freemasons in North America, alone, give over $1.5 million each day to charities. Masonic Child Identification Programs, CHIP, working hand-in-hand with law enforcement officials. In the United States, Freemasons offer free child identification kits, physical description, photos, fingerprints, tooth prints, and DNA sample. Video and audio are also offered in some locations, to children under the age of 18 years old. These child ID kits are compiled by volunteers at CHIP's events held in many different cities. CHIP events are open to the public. Should a child be abducted, time is of the essence. Parents can immediately give the CD or DVD with their child's full information to law enforcement officials. When each child identification event ends, and the child's parents are in possession of the CD or DVD, all personal data on the computer hard drives used to produce these CDs are erased. The fraternity keeps no copy nor any personal data about the child whatsoever. Parents are advised to keep their child's CD/DVD identification information in a safe place because the fraternity does not keep a backup copy. Concordant and dependent bodies. What is a Freemason appendant body? Are they a part of the fraternity? In addition to lodge membership, Freemasonry has a diverse number of organizations that also contribute their charitable efforts to local communities. Each of these organizations consists of Master Masons and their families. To become a member of any of these organizations, a man must first join a lodge and become a Master Mason. The 33rd degree is an elected degree that is conferred upon a select few members who have made major contributions to society or to the fraternity. For a more detailed explanation of the Scottish Rite, see their website at www.scottishrite.org. York Rite. The York Rite consists of 3 bodies: Royal Arch Chapter, Council of Cryptic Masons Royal and Select Masters, and the Commandery of Knights Templar. Colloquially, they are known as Chapter, Council, and Commandery. All Knights Templar must profess a belief in Christ. Each of these 3 bodies offer additional explanation of the meanings of the first 3 degrees. For a more detailed explanation of the York Rite, its degrees, and its similarities and differences across the world, see their website at yorkrite.org. What are rites? A rite is a series of progressive degrees, which are conferred by various Masonic organizations. Each of these appendant bodies of Freemasonry operates separately, and each body is under the control of its own central authority. Ancient Arabic Order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, also known as Shriners, the AONMS or Shrine, is a social organization for Master Masons and their wives. Shriners wear fezzes and donate their time to collecting donations for the many charities which the shrine funds. They hold shrine circuses for children and support their local communities in a number of ways. For more information about Shriners International, see their website at www.shrinersinternational.org. Prince Hall Masonry. In 1775, an African American named Prince Hall was initiated into an Irish Constitution military lodge, along with 14 other African Americans. When the military lodge left the area, the African Americans were given the authority to meet as a lodge, form processions on the days of the Saints John, and conduct Masonic funerals, but were not given authority to confer degrees nor to do other Masonic work. After applying for and obtaining a warrant for charter from the Grand Lodge of England in 1784, these 14 African American individuals formed African Lodge No. 459 in Boston, Massachusetts. The worshipful master of the lodge was Prince Hall. Due to many difficulties such as the length of time for a charter to be received from the Grand Lodge of England in this post-American Revolutionary War era, the American Revolutionary War, also called the War of Independence, lasted from 1775 to 1783, questions arose about the validity of Prince Hall Masons. Today, Prince Hall Masonry, which is comprised almost solely of African Americans, remains a separate entity from mainstream Freemasonry. However, increasingly, Prince Hall Freemasonry is now becoming recognized by many mainstream regular Grand Lodges and is slowly achieving full recognition from mainstream Freemasonry. Men who are interested in learning more about becoming a Prince Hall Mason will find contact information about Prince Hall Grand Lodges on the Masonic Lodge Locations page. Masonic membership. How do men become Freemasons? In the United States, a man must find a lodge near where he lives, contact the lodge, request information, and, if interested in joining, he may request a petition for membership. In most other countries, a man may be asked if he would like to join the fraternity. There are Masonic lodge locations around the world. Other requirements to become a Freemason. Here are the requirements to become a Freemason. How much are the annual lodge dues? Annual membership dues are usually a nominal amount, but do vary, some quite markedly, between jurisdictions. Typically, Prince Hall Masonic dues are more expensive than traditional mainstream Freemason lodge dues. Always request this information when you contact a lodge near you. Women in Freemasonry. Can women become Freemasons? Regular Freemasonry is a male-only fraternity, however, there are women Freemason organizations which offer parallel rituals to mainstream male-only Freemasonry. What is the role of a Masonic wife? Once a man becomes a Freemason, close female relatives, his wife, daughter, mother, etc. may choose, but it is not mandatory, to apply to and join one or more of Freemasonry's appendant, concordant, organizations such as Order of the Eastern Star. Membership is open to both men and women, but is predominantly female. Their ritual is based upon the 5 strong women in the Bible. Comasonry membership is open to both men and women. Order of Demolay. The Order of Demolay is open to biological and adopted children, half-brothers and half-sisters, stepchildren, nieces and nephews, grandchildren, grandnieces and nephews, cousins, first and second. The Order of Demolay is a youth organization for boys, which are between the ages of 12 and 21 years old. Boys must believe in a supreme being and wish to work towards becoming a man of good character. There are Demolay chapters throughout the United States. Find a Demolay chapter near you for more information. International Order of the Rainbow for Girls. Jobs Daughters International is a youth organization for girls, which are between the ages of 10 and 20 years old. Girls must believe in a supreme being and want to make the world a better place. Girls participate in fun activities and projects such as skating, bowling, dances, and trips, helping others, charitable service, and giving back to the local community. To find a Jobs Daughters chapter near you, contact the Grand Lodge of your state or country for more information. Find a Rainbow Girls Assembly near you for more information. Jobs Daughters International. Jobs Daughters International is a youth organization for girls, which are between the ages of 10 and 20 years old. Girls must believe in a supreme being and want to make the world a better place. Girls participate in fun activities and projects such as skating, bowling, dances, and trips, helping others, charitable service, and giving back to the local community. To find a Jobs Daughters chapter near you, contact the Grand Lodge of your state or country for more information. Masons, what is your thought on secret societies, and do you believe they have any relevance today? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. This is brought to you by the Masonic AudioBook Library.